It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a flying canine, it's a WolfHawk. It's a swooping, snarling, no use hollering WolfHawk. In the burning sun, even outlaws run when they hear that screeching howl. WolfHawk.
Welcome to WolfHawk Comedy Podcast.
Oh shit, we started.
We are now, yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Elliot Broder.
And I'm Lizzy Wolfson.
And I'm Mac Hawkburns. Probably just going to be here for this first part.
Yeah, just... I'm so excited for this episode today. It's going to be super fun. We're here at Dude IDK Studios in Denver, Colorado. Best studios in the world.
In the world.
That's what they've said.
I've
heard it.
Saying it now.
I've heard it.
It's official.
Check the Google reviews.
If you have something to say about that, you can catch these hands. Ooh. I'll tell you where to find me.
Feisty.
What a fun thing to threaten to fight someone about.
Elliot jumped in some garbage cans today, and now he's feeling feisty, and we love that for him.
It's a good workout, you know?
It's a good workout, up and down.
Yeah, it's like, you pull your body up.
Yeah.
Let your body down. I used to just jump out, but my knees are shot, so I have to lower myself down.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's good. That. Luckily, you'll have the health insurance through dumpster diving, and you'll be able to fix your knees.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool if I was able to find some health insurance in there. That'd be
in a dumpster.
They would have a security guard for sure. Dumpster.
That one would be a crusher. That and marijuana. How was your week, Elliot? Did you have a good week?
I did. I mean, it's finally starting to get a little bit warmer, which is very nice.
We love it. We love to hear it.
I've been pretty fortunate. I booked some good shows. I've had a pretty good dumpster diving week. Got some really interesting and exciting
golf balls.
Yeah, I got some golf balls. I got a bicycle. I got a commercial microwave.
Okay.
Basically the kitchen of a Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right.
So I don't know if it works yet, but
gotta plug it in.
Yeah, and then I got this cardboard cutout of Peyton Manning, which I brought here into the studio.
Yeah, him and Bud Light, huh?
Yeah, which I just thought was really hilarious. So, so we've got
and we had also a good show too. We were up in Greeley together.
Yeah, we had a really fun time up there.
You hosted, I headlined.
Yep,
it was fun. Really fun.
Their food's really good. They always hook up the food. Their spicy chicken sandwich was solid.
They give you like a good tap. That's what I like about it. Stella's Pinball in Greeley. Very cool venue. Very cute. Like basement. Under rocks basement, you know? Not really brick, it's stones.
Very rock vibe for sure.
Yeah. And also just seems like a cool place to go in Greeley.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you can play pinball. You can play pinball. See comedy on Thursdays.
You can get some drinks. You can hang out. Greeley's also an interesting place. It wasn't that smelly, No,
I felt like it was, the wind was blowing the right direction.
Yeah, it wasn't going right up our noses, which is good.
For people who don't know, Greeley has a huge feedlot and what do they call it, a slaughter yard?
No. So they have a slaughterhouse, which is JBS Swift, and that's why they have a lot of they have a ton of feedlots around because it's close. So you raise your cattle on the ranch, bring them down to the feedlot, and then your transportation from the feedlot to the slaughterhouse is closer.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotta get a group of them that are the same size.
So that's one of the reasons it smells really bad. And then also JBS Swift likes to burn out the blood.
Yeah.
There's
a giant vat of burning blood. I imagine that is like
multiple times a month.
I imagine that is like how James Bond would die in a movie. They're gonna
burning blood.
They're gonna slowly drop him into
boiling blood.
The vat of blood.
Blood that
You'll
boils.
Drown in blood, Mr. Bond.
And then also one of the things that I got to learn about Greeley, which I thought was very interesting this time, that I did not know, there is a smelly hotline in Greeley. If it smells too bad,
the stink line.
It's a stink line, and there's a number that you can call from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. every day,
that we assume
Monday through Friday.
They don't do anything. They're just like, sorry.
To report bad smells.
Wow.
That's it. It's just smelly, fucking, that's it. Which I just do think is kind of wild, right?
That's whose job is it to answer? They have a smell czar?
They have somebody whose job it is to answer the line, but also somebody complained enough that they had to have the line.
That they were like, we're tired of taking these calls.
I want to know who started the line.
Well, who might have some some info on this is our guest today.
Our guest today, you're just ready to get him on. Our guest today, absolutely amazing comedian, Denver-based, started in Fort Collins.
Not true.
No?
No, not true that I'm amazing.
Oh, okay.
Denver-based.
But the other part is true.
Yes.
Started in Fort Collins, moved down to Denver,
Comedian,
originally from Denver.
Wildlife educator, Eeland Stribling.
Yes.
Eeland Stribling.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the pod.
Thank you for coming on.
Always imagine
He doesn't
claps.
like the long intros, if you notice.
No,
he
I
really
like-
cut me off there.
Yeah, I like them quick and easy.
Quick.
Quick
I like
and
to
light.
do all. I like to do all of the plugs.
Accolades, all the things.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind, but I don't. Well, I haven't.
You
I
don't need it.
I don't deserve that. What's up, guys?
Not much, man. We're so stoked to have you. One of the things we usually try to talk a little bit about, like the outdoors and stuff. Which
Wait, hold on. We didn't talk about Greeley though. What do you think about the Greeley hotline?
I think it's fun.
Do you think it's important?
I
It's
think-
important to have for the city of Greeley.
I feel like once you buy a house there, like there has to be something on the contract that says you're not legally allowed to call. I feel like that's just like
Oh,
an
really?
out of Greeley
Like you
thing.
already, like you made your commitment.
you made your choice. To
you
be
signed
there.
the contract.
yeah, you know that when
For
like
smell.
the
Yeah.
realtors try to get you in quick. They're like, I mean, we can just do a virtual tour.
Yeah.
They have a good smell there, and they're like, "No, I'm going to do all my house showings
Like
today."
a ton of like candles in the house.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hard? It's either very easy to sell houses in Greeley or very hard, right? Because
Well,
it's like if
cheap.
people don't know.
Yeah,
It's cheap.
I think
So they're
it
from
is more
California, they
affordable.
come through and they're like,
I don't
this
think
is cheap and
Californians
it's
are-
close.
I don't think Californians are moving to Greeley. They're
Nah.
like they're going to be on the other side of the interstate. You know.
Yeah, I feel like Fort Collins. I feel like that hotline is more for Fort Collins people who are like,
Oh.
"We don't want to smell what you guys are doing over there."
Yeah. I
We
mean,
don't wanna
it's-
have to think
it's-
about it.
It's
and
a
we don't
stinky one.
and we don't
for
eat
sure.
meat. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're like,
Oh, you don't think Fort Collins eats meat?
not as much as Greeley.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. At Greeley, like
Or
if you
beef
don't
is
eat meat,
right.
you're like a pariah.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think Fort Collins is a 70-30 split on red and blue?
I would feel.
Because there's some red.
I would say Fort Collins is mostly liberal, but then you get up to
Wellington.
like you start getting up 285, going up the Poudre Canyon, and then it just is
And there's
all red.
Wyoming.
Yeah, and then it's all red. So I would say it's Fort Collins because it's a college town is mostly blue.
Okay.
But once you leave like a pretty central, and it's small, so I
Yeah.
would say like once you leave like a pretty central hub,
Sure.
then it's all red.
So you
around
think
there.
people that are Democrats don't like the smell of cow shit or burning blood?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that.
I
bro.
think that's.
I just think healthier people who are like, oh, I don't eat meat.
I don't want to smell poop.
I don't want to smell.
Okay, yeah,
This-
makes
they
sense.
like
I don't wanna smell
they
it.
wake up and they smell it and they're just like it's the smell of the
Yeah.
atmosphere dying.
Yeah.
It's like extra PETA shit.
Okay,
where-
okay. Yeah.
Even-
but then
even-
if you get to like the east side where it's like Alt, Nunn, Pierce, all those places.
They're just like
they're
"Oh,
like
that's-
we get it.
That's part of hard work. Yeah.
The wind blows here too.
Yes, that's part of hard. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother works in sewage and wastewater, and
That sounds worse than cow shit,
Yeah.
right?
but the joke at his company is anytime they like smell that smell, they're like, smells like money.
Right,
Yeah,
no, and
it's
that's
true.
and that is also what cowboys will
true,
say too.
yeah.
Cowboys will always say that smells like money
Yeah.
is
If it smells
the
like cows,
feedlot
if it
smell.
smells like livestock, if you go to a rodeo or anything, you're like,
Sure.
it smells like stuff is happening. You know.
I will say
I
I
would
think
say
that
liberals-
rodeos smell different than feedlots.
Yeah, liberals don't really have a smell associated
Oh.
with anything.
Okay.
You know,
Patchouli.
like ranchers.
What
they,
does oat milk smell like?
It doesn't. It doesn't have a smell.
Oh, they
I-
might be onto something.
I feel
Actually,
like dirty hippies may smell like
Yeah.
something, but you don't really go.
dirty hippies
"Here's the money."
versus burning blood.
Yeah, I feel
Yes.
like restaurants, like vegan restaurants, kind of have like a particular smell to
There's a
them.
nut smell in there,
It's hard to determine really what it is, but they have that.
right?
They have vegan restaurants have a smell to them, in my
They
opinion.
have a smell.
I've never been inside a vegan restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you've never been to like Studio City, dude? Studio City's legit.
Studio City fucking hits, dude.
It's
I'm not a big vegan fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Studio City is it's like one of the hot, it's on lists of like best vegan restaurants like in the world. Like
Yeah.
you get their mac and cheese and like if somebody didn't tell you, you like
So
wouldn't know.
I have a funny story about Studio City, and
like
my girlfriend's
extra
gonna hate that I'm telling
cheese.
this story because I think it's so funny, but she doesn't. But when we first started dating, we went out to lunch at Studio City with a couple comedians, and we all ordered food, and she had never been there, and so she ordered a burger, and when the person when the person who was taking the order left, she looked at us and she was like, just like me to order a burger at a vegetarian restaurant. And I was like, it's a vegetarian burger.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
And she's like, no, I didn't. It didn't say. And I was like, no, it's a veg. There's no meat here.
Black bean
it's
burger.
all vegetarian. She gets it, bites into it. Oh, it's vegetarian. She thought she was so fucking slick. I won't get meat on this. No meat on the menu. There's 0 meat on the menu.
That sounds sad.
Yeah, dude. What? That's sad?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I paid for it. Who cares? Whatever.
And now you guys are still together.
And we're still together. 5 years later, we're still together.
Beautiful. That's
I mean, lesbians can't be that mad about fake meat. Am I right?
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It tastes better.
Come on, that was pretty
it
funny.
tastes better. It's healthier, and you come more. So I'm not mad about it. Actually, you're right.
And you're saving money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're saving money too. I love it. But one of the reasons that we wanted to have you on today, because comedy is actually let's just ask you about comedy. How is comedy going for you? You look like you don't want to talk about comedy, but we're gonna ask you about comedy.
I love comedy with all my heart. I think it's the only thing in my life where it's the only positive relationship I have in my life. Even when stuff
That's great.
I think is shitty, I go, yeah, but comedy's still dope. Even when I bomb, which is a lot. Even when I'm just like, oh, I gotta make it in the industry. I want to do this. I want to do that. I just go. The act of doing comedy is still like as perfect as it's just beautiful.
Do you think you get high off of like the smaller things too, and that's why it's good? It's like you could do something big and feel like really good, and then be like, oh no, I have to like do all these other things to keep on going on this road. And then you could go to like a small show and do like 7 minutes and be like, this fucking hits, dude.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know how to describe it, but if I'm like in a bad mood for a couple of days, my girlfriend will be like, can you go do a show?
Go do a show. Yeah.
That, and I come back and I'm like, man, the world is beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. Even if I bomb, I go, man, I can't wait to try this shit tomorrow and see if I could do better than there's never like a negative thing about it. Even when I go like, oh, you got to get social media stuff, or I got to get an agent or a manager, or where am I going to move to next?
It's
or all this
stressful.
stuff. And then I just go, wait, but then I get to like do stand up. Like the whole thing is I just get to do stand up, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
So, comedy goes up and down. There's some ups where you're like, man, I am the greatest comic of all time. People give you compliments. People go, oh, you're so funny, or we've seen you before. And then other times you do a show when everyone else crushes and you bomb and you go,
I could quit.
Well,
I could quit today.
Yeah,
I could quit. I could have a 9-to-5 job. I could go to the gym every day.
I could make so much more money. I could have a stable lifestyle. I could see friends I haven't seen in 15 years.
Yeah.
I
could
not 15
connect.
years, but like 10 years. But so comedy's up and down, but I love it with all my heart. I'll never stop.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And actually I was talking to somebody the other week about how I kind of feel a little bit with like if I don't do it long enough, I get depressed. I feel that way a little bit about fishing, which is something I know we both love. But I was talking to somebody the other night about how, it's been like 2-3 weeks now since I've been fishing. And I was like, I got to get out this week.
Yeah, you're like, I just got to, something needs
like
to
a
change.
reset.
Like something needs to be like shooken up a little bit.
Yeah.
The only difference for me though is like, I feel like if I have a bad set, I still have a good time. Whereas if I don't catch any fish, I'm, at least for a little bit, I'm not stoked on it. You know what I mean?
Oh no, for me it's like if I'm not catching fish or if I have a bad set, I just go, man, it was nice. This was a nice change of whatever I was doing during work. Like it's just like it's different. It's like
it's your getaway.
I would say like I usually have a good attitude about it, but it's one of those two, like if I really am if I'm out there for a long time and I'm trying a lot of different things, I definitely will get a little more frustrated. I mean, it's shaken off by the time you get home, but it's just sometimes fishing can be a frustrating hobby.
Well, it's stupid. It's as stupid as comedy.
Yeah.
Like it's you're like going out to try to convince another being of something to make them
But it's
attracted
a
to
dumber being. Fish are pretty dumb, which I think is where my
Do you think that fish
comedy crowds are pretty dumb? Also.
Yeah.
That's true, they can be.
Do you think fish are dumber than comedy audiences?
Dude, it'd be cool if we like did an experiment of this. I don't know how we would do that, but
Because it might be the same.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do shows and you look at the people in the front row and there's nothing happening, and then you catch a fish.
Yeah.
And you look at the fish and the fish is just like.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's nothing happening.
They're thinking about who they're trying to fuck.
I would say there's a lot of parallels too, because I feel like with fishing, kind of once you find once you get into it, you usually will catch a lot of them. I feel like it's the same with a comedy crowd. Like once you start getting laughs, it's like
once you get them
it's
hot,
over now. You know?
Yeah, we all got our hot joke where you're like, I know this will do well, and you got your hot.
And do you have that with your reels?
With your lure, with your fly, you're like, I know this one is gonna work. And then when that one doesn't work, you go, all right, these guys are just fucking
these fish are the river's broken. That's what one of my buddies always says. Like, I think the river's broken today.
Yeah, I think the river's broken.
You're like,
a hotline for that.
I think the river was just too drunk.
Yeah, the
They
river
just really
started
didn't
too
get
late.
it.
The river started too late. Yeah, the last fisherman fucked it up for me, and I couldn't do it. Yeah,
he was trying to do all this crowd work with the fish.
Yeah,
That's great. I love that. One of the things that me and Elliot really like talking about is kind of anything from the outdoors. And you are an outdoorsman. You are currently wearing Chaco. I don't even know what those shoes are called.
Slippers.
They're slippers, right? Yeah. They're like little sleeping bags for your feet.
they are so comfortable,
They're so comfortable.
so warm.
That's very outdoorsy.
What's the arch support like that in there? Is it like similar to a Chaco sandal?
Not too good, but
Just comfy.
yeah, it's like a cozy place for my foot to be. And if I had multiple colors, I would just wear these
Every day.
as much as possible.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the snow. If it gets a little warm, then I try not to wear them because my feet get sweaty. But
Yeah, they would get sweaty.
I got on thick socks because I don't like being cold. So
Oh, you don't like being cold?
Don't
Are you a
like being
person that
cold.
gets cold a lot? You're kind of a skinny boy,
yeah, 50-50.
you know?
It goes
50-50.
I think that is one of the things.
Yeah, I sleep
know?
naked, but I also sleep with my window open at night.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Because
I mean, that makes sense.
I like to be cool, but then I
But
don't
you like to be
being...
warm in the bed.
I mean, I'll sleep with a leg
Sounds to
out.
me like you just hate the environment.
Yeah.
I just don't like being
crank the
cold.
heat.
I just feel like
That's why he doesn't go to vegetarian restaurants.
what's the point of being cold? Like, just don't be cold.
Don't be cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Always be
we have the
comfortable.
technology.
We
Yeah.
love that.
Like, I would never give a homeless person money or food, but I would give him like a jacket or like
I just
an
gave a
extra
homeless
layer.
kid money.
Don't do that. Give him a jacket.
No,
I do
because
gloves a lot in the winter.
Yeah, because
his
it's
sign
cold.
said that he was
Yeah.
17 and he looked pretty out of it. And I had $5 in my car. And I think that if you're a child and you're on the street, things didn't go
it's
well.
rough.
Yeah, or
And so I
if
feel-
you're 35 and on
Yeah, I
the
think
street,
anybody on
Sure,
the street.
anybody on the street, but it's
things
like,
not go as planned.
you know,
Probably a
like
veteran.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
sad,
imagine
actually.
like home life was supportive.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
who knows what the fuck. So I don't. I mean, if he needs to get high on it, let him get high. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That
I mean, I
gets
think
him
that-
there.
Depending upon the drugs, I think that makes you warm too. I'm pretty sure.
It's American dream.
Pretty sure meth warms you up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We did just give a bunch of clothes to Mutiny, who is distributing warm clothes to the immigrants from Venezuela.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We gave like 3 boxes. I'm
awesome.
starting another box too.
Yeah, actually, I have some stuff to donate. I should donate it there instead of giving it to like Goodwill.
I feel
Don't
like
give it to
clothes-
Goodwill because they're just gonna sell it.
Yeah, don't give. And the owner of the CEO of Goodwill makes like.
That's what I heard. I
$3
heard
billion
like
So
some
much
corporate guy took over. Well, they Goodwill is starting to sell all the nice clothes online.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're like starting an online store. I was in there the other day, and it used to be everyone's like when you dig, you'd find like a good brand.
Oh yeah.
But I was in there the other day, and they were like had signs. They were like, you know, they were like because they have their own radio station.
Yeah.
They were like, now you can get the
Versace.
North Faces on our online
Oh.
store.
That's
Like,
wild.
They were
Just
just tired.
fucking-
Yeah, like
That's why you got to go to smaller stores or you got to go to smaller states. I went up
Or
to
Arc. Arc stores.
yeah. I
Arc
respect
does the
Arc.
same shit though.
Do they
Arc,
really?
yeah, Arc.
Damn.
I mean, I,
I
was
feel like
looking
Arc
at,
is better though. They
I was
don't.
looking at Wranglers. They were $15 in Arc down here, and I went up to Wyoming and they were $5.
Yeah, it's just the market though.
No,
It's just people buying.
no, because people are reselling the
Yeah.
Wranglers and stuff like that. I mean, anywhere between like Levi, Wrangler.
I still think.
those are all going to be like your Western.
I mean,
brands.
I still think that Arc is better than Goodwill.
Yeah, because they let Down syndrome people hang out.
and we love that.
Yeah, it's dope.
That they do that.
They have a good mission, and I
Yeah.
think more of the money goes to the mission
Do you
and less
normally
to
see
the
the
CEO.
You know what I'm just thinking? I've been to a lot of arcs in the last few months. I don't. If they are there, I don't feel like I see them that
I
much.
see them all the time.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
The one by me is
I'm like, are they just keeping them in the back?
No,
I mean, this is
no.
fun, dude.
Last time I went, I got checked out by a person with Down syndrome. And
Oh, really?
it
Oh,
was-
okay, cool.
I was
Perfect.
like, this is great.
This is great. This is
beautiful.
dope.
Yeah.
the guy I always see. I don't know. I feel like he definitely has something going on. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's
what it is specifically.
Yeah, maybe it's like a traumatic brain injury, but he definitely is like, he's just like.
Yeah. Also, if you have
Goodwill,
warm clothes,
I just feel like those people are mean. The people who work at Goodwill, they just like they just like have an attitude.
But it doesn't even have to be warm clothes. You think Goodwill people have more of an attitude than the Ark?
They're just,
I feel like Goodwill people. They're like the people who work at Popeyes. Like they're like.
Okay.
They don't have time for your
Well,
shit.
Yeah, they're like,
Snappier?
what do you like? We know what you're like. We don't give a fuck.
When
that
they,
you're here.
you're like, you ask them to like open up the like changing room, and they act like it's like this is literally your job. Why are you being rude about
I
this?
don't like the people at Goodwill.
Like, I guess I'll open it for you. It's
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
listen, if you don't, I'm gonna climb over there. I need to try these pants on.
Yeah, I need to try these pants on in this room that smells like shit. What is the problem? Why does it always those? Speaking of places that have smells, those places have smells.
I just think it's
smells.
everyone's.
It's dirty.
Yeah, people do
clothes.
not like wash their shit before they drop it
yeah,
off.
and it's
Why would
everyone's
they?
smells combined.
Yeah.
I wash my stuff before I donate.
Before you donate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, at least I wouldn't say that I like wash it, but if I don't like immediately wear it and like sweat in
And
it
then
and
take it
donate
off.
it. Like, I don't know if you like washing this. We'll just
You've never
donate
worn
it.
the same clothes twice and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
throw them into a basket.
I think what happens
and
with
take 'em.
donated clothes too is that eventually you get to a point where you're getting dressed one day and you look at something and you go, I don't think I've worn this in 4 years.
I have so many clothes like that.
And then we have a like an Amazon box that rotates through that we just throw stuff in there once
Yeah.
we figure out that. So yes, I guess it is washed. It's just been sitting in the closet
In
for a while.
storage.
I think like once every 3 months I go through and I go, when was the last time I wore this? And
Right,
if
right.
it's been like
Yeah, do
6
y'all ever do
months
the-
to a year with different scenarios, I go, I'm never gonna fucking wear this.
Do you
Or
ever
I've
do
still
the
clothes
hanger
in my
thing?
Yeah. So
You do the
have you ever
hanger
heard of
trick?
the hanger trick? Who was that? That was
I think that was the
Ali Wong.
no.
Oh,
no.
That's
the,
a comedian.
The lady that
but
the lady
close.
that wrote the book about decluttering or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
she's an Asian lady, right?
Sure, but we can't just name random Asian ladies when we're talking
Maybe
about
you
something.
can.
Yeah. This isn't your podcast.
But
Elon, we're trying to not get canceled, bro.
they no the lady that wrote the book about how to like
Declutter, yeah.
declutter. She basically was like, yeah, once you wear something, put the hanger the other direction.
Yeah, so you
And
flip
then
it.
after
He
a certain
can't think
amount of
about
time.
that.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
too
have the
much for him to
mental
think of.
wherewithal to do that.
Yeah.
So I just go to my closet and I go, I haven't worn this
I haven't
in
worn it in a
forever.
minute.
And then
I'm glad that we're talking about this too because I feel like you have very much like a Colorado fashion, right? Like you're a fashionista of he hates this of fly fishing, of Colorado,
I
kind of
like-
being cool cat.
I like to be comfortable.
Do I
and like,
ski? Do I not ski?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like
you
to
know?
be comfortable, but also just like a little bit sleek. I don't want to be cool, but
Okay.
I want people to go, damn, he looks comfortable. Like
He
I
looks
wear
good.
these shoes on stage.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I
you
wear
do.
these sweatpants on stage because it's
Sure.
like
Well, I've also seen you before do the sandals and socks, which
Sandals and
I
socks.
do that
We
a
love
lot
that.
too.
Yeah, 'cause it's like-
so
well, it's like-
comfortable.
like
I think
sometimes I do-
Colorado style is comfortable.
yeah, because
I
it's
think
like
if you compare it to LA and New York.
well, it's also for the elements. Like I feel like Colorado style is for the elements.
Sure.
So you go Crocs. I mean, you go Crocs or sandals or Birkenstocks
Sure.
because you want to have some.
But it might be cold in the
But it
morning.
might be cold, so you need some socks
There
on.
might be some snow on the ground.
Yeah. So I go. I usually always have a hoodie on because I'm like I can always take my hoodie off.
Sure.
But sometimes I'll just perform with my hoodie because it's like
My mom is in
Whatever.
the fashion industry, and one of the things that she always told me was that you should always wear to where you're at. Like, don't wear like LA clothes in New York because it doesn't make any sense. Like,
No,
the
yeah,
weather
yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
Like, Colorado has its own fashion
yeah.
for sure. Flannels and
Yeah, because we have a very dynamic weather. You
Yeah.
have
Right.
to layer.
Like
You
this
have to
morning it's
layer.
cold when I
Yeah.
walk my dog, and then
Beanies.
and then this afternoon I'm like, man, it's so
50.
fucking
It's
nice
gonna be
out. And
50
it's
today.
it's 48 degrees. And I'm like, this is nice.
For me,
But
when
it's a little
I
chilly.
when I wear sandals and socks, for me, I do it when I'm wearing my most expensive socks. So it's really just kind of like
A flex.
it's a flex
It's a little
for
bit
sure.
of a
Like I
flex,
would do
yeah,
it with
yeah.
like these. These are like some darn toughs. It's like
Yeah.
this is a $30 pair of socks. What do you
Yeah.
know about that?
do you know
what I'm
Darn
saying?
Tough does a lifetime warranty?
They do. Yeah.
So if you have a hole in your Darn Toughs and you send them back, they'll send you
A new pair.
a gift certificate to get new socks. So you can just keep on rotating through
I'm a big
them.
fan. I've started investing more in my socks because I used to just buy cheap socks.
Oh, a thick sock game is remarkable.
Amazing.
Oh God, it's a game changer.
Changes so much.
I was just always too cheap to be like, I'm not buying a $20, $30 pair of socks.
The older you
but
get, the more you go. my feet are warm.
Yeah, well, and I started doing the math. And I was like, well, I buy socks like twice a year.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna.
Do you think that because it's called darn tough, Elliot's allowed to wear them because he's a tough guy?
He's darn tough. He's
darn
tough.
tough. But if he wasn't, like if he was like if he was a pussy, he wouldn't be able to wear. He shouldn't wear those socks.
No, not at all.
Just go Costco.
He'll probably wear Nike socks.
$8.99. 20-pack
frat boy socks
or like
polyester socks
with white Vans.
Oh God,
white Chucks.
Proudly never owned Vans. Yeah. I mean, nothing against Vans, but they're too narrow for my feet.
It's a type of person. BK Sherrod wears Vans. And he's
our producer, he wears Vans too.
And he's not darn tough.
No disrespect.
Are you a darn
to
tough
the
boy?
Vans.
But he said tootin'. He said tootin'.
Actually, I take that back. I do actually have a pair of Vans, and
I have Vans. Yeah,
it's funny because this pair of Vans I bought kind of as a joke because they came out with this these Vans that have a little pouch in the front. They have like 3 little pockets.
Oh, what are those for? Pot?
I don't know, but I thought it was hilarious. So I rock them sometimes, and I'll put like a light or like a pin in there.
Funny.
You know?
But you just lose everything. How is it staying on there?
I mean, you just can't run.
Oh, good.
You definitely.
I love a pair of shoes where you can't run.
Yeah, somebody wants to rob you, like all they're gonna do is chase you, and they're getting all of it. But I always tell them like they're like my gardening shoes because I'm notorious for leaving like gardening barefoot and then stepping on all the tools that I'm using. I've done that like 3 times.
I love that this conversation naturally came up too because I do think that some people believe that like you have to earn your way into certain fashions, especially with like.
Give me an example.
Here, I'll show you.
Lizzy has a physical bit for this.
I had a physical bit for this.
I hate this. I hate this.
So here's a good example.
So much. I hate this.
Bass Pro Shop makes these great hats for $6.
I hate this.
I hate this.
I don't hate Bass Pro Shop because I'm trying to work with them, but I hate
them.
But
one time I wore a
of the
Bass
hat.
Pro Shop hat to a comedy show. I wore and Eeland made fun of me.
I hate this.
Put it on. Put it on. I bought that for you. You put it on for the podcast.
I will sell this to
This is a
anyone
bit.
watching. Whoever is watching this, I will sell you this hat for
This is a
however
bit.
much you want. For $1, $100, whatever you want, I will sell you this hat.
We could put it on the Peyton cardboard.
I hate this.
And I was wearing it, and I thought, this is like a fun hat. It fits my head well.
I
feel
this.
very confident walking out of the house with this. And then I got to a show, and Eeland was like, "Oh, I can't believe you're wearing
Also, I don't
Bass
sell
Pro."
Lizzy's really good at impressions.
Put it on.
I'm not. I won't. I would never ever put it on. Okay, so here's how I feel about this hat. You are a ranch girl. You're a horse girl. You grew up on.
I didn't grow up, but yeah.
You did hands-on ranch work.
Sure.
Like you are about this life. And if you take away this logo,
Yeah.
ranch people would wear this hat because it's just a hat. Like there was never like a thing with it. If you were really ranching or like in the middle of Colorado, in the middle of Montana, you weren't near a Bass Pro Shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't like a commodity thing. I feel like for like bass fishermen or like regular, your grandpa who wakes up at 6 a.m. or wakes up at 4 a.m.
Live bait fisherman.
Drives to the store, gets some night crawlers, listening to bluegrass or BB King on the way there. He would wear this hat, right? Mm-hmm. When I started fishing and I tried to wear this hat, people were like, "Oh, bro, you're so stupid. Like this looks so dumb."
Because it's turned into something that city people wear.
But now it's become like this almost like
Oh my God, look at this hair that's been just on my shirt.
almost like
What?
it's like not anti-fishing, but like it's
become mainstream.
it's like ironic. It's like, oh, I don't. You could like look at this hat with someone and then be like, oh man, you fish? Where you fish
Yeah,
at? And
and they're like,
you
no.
kind of know like what type of person or angler they are. But now you just look at people with this and it's just like this hat with a guy wearing Crocs with a shoulder Adidas bag, and you're like, oh, you don't. What do you represent? You just.
And
just-
so am I, Nick. So am I.
It's
It's a
can't.
cosplay.
I can't-
People
yeah,
are
it's like-
cosplaying outdoors people.
Yeah, but not even cosplaying. Like just wearing, like if I was wearing like a little French hat right now, and I was just wearing it ironically, It wouldn't mean like I knew French history.
So let's like dig into it. Like, do you feel like it's
stupid?
It's stupid, but like, do you feel like people are disrespecting?
Not disrespecting, because I don't think fishing is like this thing of like, hey buddy, don't you talk about fishing? You know, like
no, that's what you're doing, but it's fine. Keep
no,
going.
It's just like I don't think it's disrespecting, because I think like I like the hat. Like it has nothing to do with the hat. It's just
it's
the
a
people
very
who
well
wear.
shaped hat.
It's like it's a practical hat. It has a long enough visor where it's like can actually protect you from the sun. You know, it has the mesh in the back so you can sweat, but you can like still wear it while you're like it's a regular hat. It's just the type of people who have grown
the fans
to wear
have ruined it for you. I feel the same way about 311. You know,
the fans have ruined it for you.
I mean, you know, they're not that bad of a band, but the fans are insufferable.
And I see a lot of my students wearing this hat.
Oh yeah,
and they're like trying to be cool.
Ooh,
and they're like
love
trying
that.
they're like trying to be like.
Now, is it okay for people to wear clothes to try to be cool?
I mean, that's the whole point of clothes
Yeah.
to some extent. But I can understand a particular. I think the popularity of the hat, like it has blown up, like everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely also like you see it a lot
But,
in
like,
gyms
even
and stuff like
Crocs.
that. It's workout stuff, like
Crocs used to be. There was a small time where Crocs were like, bro, if you had Crocs, you were the shit. My uncle used to work at the Croc factory. And I used to have 10 different Crocs in 10 different colors.
Yeah.
Like I would have like yellow ones that I would wear, and it was like cool, right?
Yeah,
but
I bought Crocs 25 years ago.
But then it became uncool, and like people were like, don't wear Crocs, right? Now it's like there's like
irony
different
poison.
designer Crocs, right? But then I look at Crocs and I go, it's comfortable. You can wear them on the beach, and you can like if you're comfortable wearing them, you could do a lot of stuff.
You like wearing them.
You could do a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Rocking Crocs.
But maybe I like
this.
wearing this hat.
But why?
Because I'm really not a hat person, and it's
Okay,
always
but
been
there's other
very
hats.
hard for me to find hats that like the
But why
shape
this
to
hat?
look on the hat. Oh, it is the shape. I've actually literally gone online to try to find exactly this hat.
It's a
but
6-panel tall hat. I could send you so
Yeah.
many other 6-panel tall
Bro,
hats.
I have so many hats. It's insane.
Remember
I
we
have
talked
so
about
many
the
hats,
duck
it's
camp
insane.
hat? The
Yeah, I
duck
have
camp
that
hat.
one, but
Yeah.
it doesn't fit the same way.
But they have those hats in this type of hat with that same logo.
I think it's fun.
Bangladesh.
I think
You could probably find
I think I look
factory.
fun. You know what? I also wear Carhartt. I wear Wranglers.
which is great.
Wear
I
Roper
don't have
shirts.
any problem with that. It's just this hat.
It's just the hat.
It's just this
Now,
hat.
what if I was wearing Carhartt right now?
I'd be like, you look comfortable. Maybe you got some shit you got to do earlier. You're gonna get dirty, or you're just like, you know what? Maybe I'll change a tire today, and this is gonna be comfortable.
Ooh, okay, all right.
There's
I
like
kind of do look
Dude,
like I could change a tire.
There's some functionality to other stuff.
Sure.
There's no functionality to this. It's just virtue signaling.
Oh, it's virtue signaling
That's-
like I'm cool.
Yes, but there's no functionality to it.
So it's working.
So like Crocs, I see functionality. Carhartt, I see functionality. Other stuff, I'm
What
like,
about Uggs?
that makes sense. Uggs are. I would say old Uggs used to be warm. Like
Okay.
old Uggs actually used to be made for
Okay.
people who like my feet are cold. They used to be made with like real lamb and wool and like stuff to make people warm.
Wool.
Now they're just
Not
wool. Now they're just mass produced. No, there's lamb in there. There's lamb
It's
chops.
lamb skin.
No, chops. They would
Chops
put
in
lamb
there?
chops inside.
They never told us
of
that
the
when I
Uggs.
worked for that
The
company.
old Uggs. The
Yeah,
old
yeah, I forgot.
Uggs.
Dude,
But now they're just mass produced, and they're like. So I'm like, cool. If they keep your feet warm, there's functionality
There's
to
a
that.
style. There's a style to it.
But there's also functionality because it's supposed to keep your feet warm. This
Yeah.
has no functionality.
It keeps the sun out of my eyes when I'm roping, when I'm
I don't think you're gonna
choking these
convince him,
fucking
Lizzy.
cows, brah.
I don't think you're gonna convince him to come around.
It also keeps my hair back when I'm on the elliptical at the gym. Yeah,
So you talked a little bit about your students. Let's go back
So
to
you wear
this.
this at the gym also?
I wear it at the gym.
That's fucking annoying.
I wear it at the gym.
He
I
was
wear it
even
when
more
I'm
mad
riding
about
horses and roping. I wear it.
I would unplug your machine if I saw you on the treadmill.
This is a gym hat. This is a
would be
very
like,
much a gym bro hat.
So
And see, it's funny because I think also what's interesting about
y'all are
clothes is
just
that
not gonna drop.
virtual,
Lizzy is convinced. I'm gonna make you say
that
it's fine
whatever
that I'm wearing this.
signaling that we're actually doing is also different for every person. You know what I mean?
No.
Like I might look at your Eddie Bauer jacket that you're wearing right now and be like, oh, well, maybe he's a fisherman, or maybe
just an old white dad. I'm okay. I'm
old
okay.
white dad, old
Yes,
white dad.
That's what
very
everybody.
veil, very
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's functionality to it. There's they put the logo here so you see it. Same thing with Bass Pro
I'll also
Shop.
tell you what, and this might be my experience, but there's definitely clothes that I buy because they're fucking gay, and I want people To know.
Okay.
All the time. Every time they look at me. But I don't ever want them to question.
But then again, that's like your truth.
It feels a little gay.
I don't know. I feel like the Bass Pro Shop is maybe throws a wrench in there. I always try
bands.
I always
Birkenstocks.
whenever I dress, I guess I don't really put that much thought into it. But I like for people to not be able to put me in a category when they see like what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Like I like for them to be like, well, he is wearing like outdoors clothes, but he's also got like some Timberlands on or whatever. You know what I mean?
So there is something funny too about the idea that like the more you get into something, the less you want to be recognized as that thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
fishermen, like kind of less and less and less.
You
right?
can tell the young anglers too because they'll be decked out. They'll have
decked. Yeah.
Yeah. And the older you get, you just go. Well, I feel like rich old people who get into it, they go, I want to buy everything so people know. Like
people know what I do.
So people know what I do.
This is my personality.
And then when you're
now.
in the middle of it, or if I feel like our generation coming up, we go, it's almost cool to like not be that. It's almost cool to like not say like I am this, right? But it's like people go, oh, you fish? You go, yeah, I fish, and then you could chit chat, but you don't want to go like if you see someone walk into a room and they're wearing all Nike, you go,
what's happening here?
Why are you trying so hard?
But do you think that's the same?
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with comedy, right?
What do you mean?
Like
when people make it their entire personality.
It's not even and also like the bigger you get or the more you do comedy, the less you're like I'm a comedian. You
Plus
know,
you
like
wanna
you kind of like sneak into the show, you sneak in the back, you get up on stage, you do your thing, but you're not like
begging for
attention after the show and stuff like that. You know, like
personally, I feel the opposite. So I feel like when I started comedy, I was like, I didn't even start calling myself a comedian until like last year when I was like, okay, this is actually what I'm doing. Like I'm actually a comic. I think other people respect me enough that they would call me a comic. Like I want to be a comedian. When I started comedy, people were like, oh, Eeland's a stand-up comic. I'm like, no, I do comedy, but I'm not like a stand-up comic. It'd be like, I've gone fishing, but I'm not like a angler. Like I'm not like a fisherman, you know? So I kind of see it.
I get that.
I kind of saw it personally like that, which is why I'm like,
yeah, but you probably did that because also you had fishing first. So you already had a little bit of a mindset.
I think you probably have more self-awareness than a lot of
self-awareness
comedians,
of
too,
like,
let's be honest. Comedians are not self-aware.
There's a lot of comedians that didn't have anything before that to even identify themselves. So then once they find something to identify themselves,
that's true.
They have to make that
their thing,
and then also are like force the community to take them in as that person, which I think some of us lean a little bit. I would say easier into it, I guess.
For me, I think there was definitely like a period of time where I liked to tell people when I would be in a cab or whatever. Like I would like to have that conversation, and then I feel like I did get to a point where, not that I like try to hide it, but like But I'm just like I've had that conversation enough. I've told enough Uber drivers that I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, and they go, "Oh, who's your favorite comic?" Or what do you talk about?
Have you been to the mothership?
Yeah,
and that's the one I hate. Is like, you know, what kind of comedian are you? Because I really do. I've always tried to like have. Yeah. I try to stay away from like standard like joke topics. So it's like, what do you talk about? I'm like, a very very broad variety of subject matters.
Right.
You know, like,
and I think it goes back to kind of like what you said. Like, when you first start, when people first start comedy, they go, "I'm a comedian. I tell people jokes. I do this." And then the longer that you're in comedy and you see the industry and you see how it works, and you go, "No, this shit is sad." Like, then you're like, "I don't want to tell people I'm a comic," because you're like, because then they think, "Oh, Kevin Hart." They think Taylor Thomas. And then you're like, "No, this shit is grind in, grind out every night. Most of it is not luxury. Most of it is not famous shit." Whereas a new comic, they go, "Oh, I love comedy. I'm a comic. I'm going to do podcasts. I'm going to do shows. I'm going to tour." And then
or they want people to talk to them about it, and I'm kind of tired of.
Yeah, and
you know
like
what I mean.
5 years in, you're like, "No, this shit is. I'm still fucking grinding."
But if I do talk about comedy, when I do, I want to talk about it with people that know about it.
Yes.
And a lot of times
or
you
the
can
history
pick
of
up
comedy. Yeah,
and you can also pick up when people are like new, and you're like, I can't.
I'm gonna start going up to people wearing this hat and go, "So, what's your favorite bass fishing rod?
What's your favorite bait caster or open face,
I'm gonna start
bro?
quizzing people and be like, "So you more of a spin bait, crankbait? You like spoon? Like
what's your thought on
Yeah.
Syncos?
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna
what's
be
your-
a rude asshole. That's all
like-
you're saying.
plastic, rubber, metal. Like, what's your?
Yeah. It's like when somebody wears a cowboy hat. You're like, oh, really? Do you ride horses? Or
Exactly.
did you get off the ranch? Are you freaking? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just fashion.
And I only wear my cowboy hat when I'm riding horses.
Sure.
Like if I get invited to ride horses, I would only if my friend showed up wearing this hat, I'd be like, let's fucking fish. Let's go do it. But if
I got an extra set of waders in the car. Let's
yeah,
go.
dog. Like if you're really about but if we're at a bar and you're wearing this hat,
you just shame him the whole time. Just be like,
pussy.
we're going to the Platte right now. It's right there.
I think one of the things is that what you say doesn't bother me because I grew up in the early 2000s where everybody was like, you're a fucking poser, bro. Do you even skateboard? Do you even fucking listen to punk rock? And I just, at a certain point, I just went, you know what? I'm just going to wear things that make me comfortable.
Right.
And that is also what you do. You just kind of you're stuck in 2005 and that's okay.
But functionality.
I love you for it. I still love you, buddy. I got you a hat. I picked that one out for you. I thought you might like. There was a tan. There was a green. I thought it might be.
What kind of bass is on this hat?
I don't give a shit. That bass can suck my dick.
The thing is, if you really want to get into it, it honestly, it's supposed to be a largemouth, but if you look at the anterior portion of the mouth, it doesn't quite come to the eye, which is one of the distinguishing characteristics. So this actually could be
the fold and the upper lip is very shallow.
It could be a spotted bass.
Yeah.
You have to feel if there was a tooth patch on the tongue. I can just get real fish nerd now. I would need to see it in person and be able to count the fin rays to be certain.
But also, it's really dark on top, and I don't usually see big large.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be a largemouth for sure, right?
Yeah.
It's 100% supposed to be a largemouth bass.
As far as fashion goes, with I think the big thing right now is definitely the outdoors, right? We can all agree.
Gorpcore. Have you guys heard the term gorpcore?
No, what is that? What's gorpcore?
Gorpcore, it's like
gorpcore sounds like hiking or something.
Yeah, well, gorp it comes from like Gore-Tex, but it's people who wear outdoor clothing as like a monetary and fashion flex. So it'll be like they'll be like mixing everything and just like. It's almost like they went to an outdoor store and they're like, okay, what's the most expensive jacket? What's the most expensive pants?
I feel like that's what outdoor clothes are already.
That's already been Colorado's style for a long time.
Yeah, or just like mountain town style, like
we've always had that, right? We've always had like North Face,
is more
Eddie
of
Bauer,
Patagonia,
LL Bean. You know, like.
But I feel like the gorpcore is more like when you see people in like L.A. and New York.
They look like they're hiking, but they didn't just go on a hike.
But not even hiking. It'll be like it won't match. It'll be like my jacket is like
mismatch,
a -30 jacket, but I'm wearing like a tank top and then I'm wearing like sandals.
And then Eeland goes up and goes, "What? Oh, did you just hike? Did you just hike? Did you just go on a hike? We're in the middle of Brooklyn. You just went on a hike?
Yeah.
Just hand him a fly rod that isn't put together and be like."
You got 30 seconds.
You're the same guy.
You got 30 seconds to put this together.
You're the same guy that where somebody wears a band shirt and you go, "Oh, can you name every album?"
No,
what's your favorite song? What's your
don't.
favorite song from the Ramones? I would love to know.
I don't give a fuck enough to go up and be like, "What's your thing?" But I'm just like, you don't have to do that. I'm just like, you
could just choose to wear just a plain black tee.
Just like be. Like, you don't have to do that because I
know
know
that to be authentic. You want people to be authentic.
Like,
I do understand. I understand where you're coming from.
And I have friends who are like, if they dress like that, I just go, yeah, that's how my friend dresses. When I look at BK, I just go, that's how he dresses.
That's how he dresses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hate it, but I'm like, that's how he dresses.
What do you feel about how Sammy dresses? Because Sammy's from New York.
I hate it also.
Oh, man. I used to make fun of him so hard when we lived together.
It's like bright clothes.
Those are your two best friends. You hate the way that they look all the
loud.
time.
It's like, it's bright clothes. It's like, he wears a necklace. I'll tell a funny
Sammy story.
But it's who they are. You know, I'm like.
Absolutely.
I'm happy when I see someone like try, like there's some comics who wear suits. To go to shows.
I actually do hate that.
See, and you go, why are you doing that?
I don't know.
You don't have to do. Like you're not filming a late night set.
It's like, what'd you get this suit from Ross, and now you're wearing it on stage
too big
to
on
look.
You. Yeah, and you're
now
wearing a
I'm funny because I wear a suit.
And you're like, don't
honestly,
do that.
so as Hawk burns, I wear a suit a lot.
Well,
like, as an ironic commentary.
It's a Western suit.
Yes.
And he also wears a sleeveless.
Really, I wear the suit, so that I can take the jacket off and
takes
a bolo
tie underneath.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wear a bow tie too,
Yeah.
which I just think it's more. I wear it it is kind of an ironic commentary on the fact that like especially too because when I'm doing Hawkburn sets, it's never like a big show, so it's always like very funny. Like, I put my suit on to make $20 in this bar show. It's like an ironic.
Get one free drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
how Sammy dresses.
Yeah. This was a funny story. So me and Sammy used to live together, and he came from New York, and we have like a yard, and like I I had to mow the yard at the time. I don't have a lawn anymore. I got rid of it. But I remember Sammy, when I was first mowing, I was like, yo, you ever like, you want to help me mow the yard? And he like got excited and he went and like put on.
Sammy wants to be manly. Like
he
he's
went and,
like, I want to do these like
workout
manly
clothes
things
to like mow. And then he's like, yo, will you take my picture while I'm mowing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he like sent it to all of his friends. He's like, yo, check it out.
He grew up in New York where there's no grass.
There's no lawns.
There's no anything green.
It was a novelty to him, which to me, like mowing the lawn is like my least favorite chore.
I fucking
ever.
love mowing the lawn.
Oh, I
love
hate it.
vacuuming. I love mowing the lawn.
Oh, I hate it. I hate mowing so bad that I
What is that?
put
You just like
hundreds of hours into just mulching my grass because I just hate doing it.
Yeah. It's just Sammy. He dresses.
But I thought it was so
who-
funny. He put on like workout clothes. Like he went and like got dressed to mow.
But that's like his personality. So
he also they had a rooster they had to kill, and so he wanted to do it to be like manly, and he didn't do it right, and then Elliot had to finish it.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't tell that story while he's not here. We'll have him on to talk about
fine,
that story.
yeah,
But
he told me that story.
But we've I've often thought that maybe I'm gonna write like an Odd Couple type sitcom.
Well, the
based
first
on me
time I
and him
came
living
over
together.
to you guys' house, we like we're having like a dinner hangout thing or whatever, and Sammy goes, y'all want some snacks? And we were like, yeah. And he's like, all right, we've been growing tomatoes, so I got tomatoes. And so he brought us tomatoes from you guys' garden, and they were
cute.
like this big.
Yeah.
And he like put salt and pepper on them, and we were like, bro, what the fuck is this?
This
And
is
he's
a
like,
snack.
it's from my garden. and he made us take our shoes off at the door.
Yep.
And it was just like this guy who had like almost like been freed. Like it was almost like he lived on another planet, or he like lived in a bubble his whole life.
It's new experiences.
And then got a new experience and was like, yo, I got like little baby tomatoes I grow now.
Yeah,
like, and it's very,
yeah.
it was fun to watch, but that was like the first time I came
I'm
over
a
to
farmer.
you guys' house.
Yeah.
I'm a farmer now, bruh.
Yeah, dude, and honestly, he for a long time, like the shoes thing was like not a point of contention, but he wore me down. I was like, I'm white, so we shoes in the house kind of a thing, and then he eventually wore me down. He's like, yo, like you don't you don't sweep enough to be wearing shoes
Which is
in the
such
house.
a funny thing. Yeah.
I don't know if that's quite how he said it, but he eventually broke me down, and then when like I converted to no shoes in the house, I was like, dude, this is life changing.
It's just nice, and you like it's less
nice.
dirt. It's less your floor is less dirty.
It's like
it makes sense.
I can get away with not sweeping as often, and you can't tell. You know, which is it's awesome. And now it's funny too because now that I do it when like my family or like other friends do it, it's like such a flex to me to be like, hey, excuse me,
Can you take off your shoes? Yeah,
That is
it's
funny.
like baller shit. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you like it? Isn't it funny when you walk into somebody's house and you don't know if you should take them off or not? You have to like look around to like see. You're like,
is
should
there a
I?
shoe pile?
What's
Is there a
worse?
shoe pile somewhere? Am I being rude by not do it? Like they just assumed I was gonna do it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
what's worse is when you see all the shoes by the door and they go, you don't have to take yours off. And you're like, I'm not going to be the only motherfucker in the house with my shoes on. That's wild.
Clearly, you have a place to take them
Yeah,
off.
like
here,
some-
Yeah.
you know?
Other
Everybody
people-
else has
yeah,
shoes
I'm not
off
gonna be the-
except for me.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
That's scary.
Dude,
Yeah.
my one of my family members I think I have a theory that they're bullshitting me, but they're always like, I have this condition with my foot, like I have to wear these sandals, and I'm like,
No, you don't.
no, you don't.
No,
Yeah.
you don't. No,
Because if
you
you're
don't.
wearing sandals.
I always give them
Yeah,
this
yeah.
like, they're like, no, these are my orthopedic.
Yeah, you're
These
like,
are
I
my
just don't want to
These are
sweep.
prescribed.
Yeah.
These are prescriptions.
No, you make them sweep as they're leaving.
Okay, so shoes. What about cowboy shoes? Yes or no in the city?
Like cowboy boots or
Cowboy
just like
boots.
like work boots.
If you're going,
I don't know why I said cowboy shoes.
If you're
Cowboy
going,
shoes.
That's a
Oh,
wild
yeah.
thing for me
No,
to say.
cowboy
but
shoes.
boots.
I know what cowboy shoes are. Cowboy shoes
Hey
are those
dudes.
little slip-ons.
Yeah, they're hey
that-
dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what cowboys wear. But yes, you're right.
What is? I don't know what that is.
It's like it's
like a comfortable shoe that they wear when they're not wearing cowboy
I'll
boots.
show you what they are.
Like
but
are
they're
they
like
galoshes?
no, yeah, they're just like little slip-ons. So it's like you can take your boots off and you can throw them right on. So a lot of rodeo kids started wearing them.
Yeah,
And now more.
I see
and
them
more.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
I feel like cowboy boots if you're going to a fiesta,
Okay.
if there's a celebration of some kind. But if you're wearing pointy cowboy boots,
Sure.
and you're in King Supers,
Yeah.
just walking around,
Maybe weird.
don't do
Okay.
that.
Don't
The
do
only
that.
way that's acceptable is if you like ran in to grab some shit for the fiesta.
And you look dirty.
You're running in
Or you
there.
look-
Okay,
yeah.
so here's another question: pointy cowboy boots or square toe?
Always square toe.
Oof,
Unless,
look at that.
Unless you're Hispanic.
Ooh. Oh, and then pointy.
Pointy every day,
Pointy,
baby.
pointy,
Oh, like
or
pointy
old
curly?
man farmer.
Man.
You know what I'm gonna say? Old man farmer too. Like
Yeah.
Justin's, like that old like they do like kind of the round toe, not pointy, but it's just kind of a round toe.
Okay.
And I feel like farmers a lot of the time wear those. Square toed is definitely very in,
I'll have to
especially
bring
for
my cowboy
millennials.
boots. I don't know if my cowboy
Yeah.
boots are pointy
and ropers
or
and
not.
stuff like that.
I would
Yours
say
are.
I'm never
They're
going
round
to
toe.
get a pair of cowboy boots, but if I was, it'd be square toes.
That's what I would.
And I would make them look dirty before I wore. I would never wear shiny
Oh,
cowboy boots.
okay.
Unless I'm,
So now we're rolling in the mud a little bit.
yeah, like I want people
make
to
them
think,
look a little.
That they
damn,
were
this
legit.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because then they shake my hand. They go, he has soft hands. I don't want them to think that.
Do y'all remember?
Does he really ride horses? 'Cause his hands are soft as
There's
fuck,
a girl.
dude.
There's a woman who runs a.
Yeah,
She does like horse training outside Boulder.
great. We love that.
Her name is Emma Brown. She's a shit. Shout out to Emma Brown. And she like teaches people, and she does like
Is she
backpacking
teaching you?
guided. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've known her since she was 18, and she's 26 now. So 6 years or whatever. She's or 8 years or whatever, and she's cool as fuck. But the first time I went over there to help at her ranch, I like shook her hand. Gave her a hug, said what's up, and I shook her boyfriend's hand.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend goes, "Man, your hands are soft."
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
I was like, bro, no, I like fish. I play in the water. I like,
Yeah.
I build, like, I do stuff with my hands.
Yeah,
And he
it's
was like,
hydration.
he was
I
like-
drink a lot of water every
he's
day.
like, nah, they're pretty soft. And I was like, fuck. So I literally
Wow.
went home
Totally
and just like grabbed
fucking-
some wood and just started like rubbing my hands
Get
against
like
the
a belt
wood.
sander.
Yeah. And I don't even think they've gotten any more hard.
Dude,
like, to me, they feel, compared to my
Did you
girlfriend's hands,
feel
they feel hard.
emasculated as soon as he said that, and you were like, I don't
Not
even
a-
know if I want to ride this fucking horse
Not
anymore.
emasculated, but I felt like I was like,
It wasn't a compliment.
I was just like, I just had that thought in my head. I was like, no, I work with my hands. It wasn't like a,
I'm tough.
oh, I'm fit.
Dude,
I was just like, no, I work with my hands.
I get that sometimes too. And it's like, yo, like they make work gloves.
Yeah, they make
You
work
don't
gloves.
have to.
They do make
Yeah.
work
You don't
gloves.
have to live like this.
Yeah.
Like
There's
just
also lotion. I lotion.
Yeah.
every
You
morning and every
lotion.
night.
Your hands are in the water because you're fishing a lot.
Yeah.
That is something that you drink a lot of water during the
drink
day.
a whole lot of water.
Hydration,
Yeah.
lotion.
I'm a big
Oh,
fan
and-
of work gloves because I'm like so ADD. I actually, when I had a blue collar job, I did the math. If I don't wear gloves, I get one cut on my hands per 45 minutes.
Dang,
Jesus.
dang.
Yeah.
That's
I have a cut
wild.
on my hands right now. So yeah, I wear gloves all the time.
You know who also wears gloves? Rip from Yellowstone. And he's a cowboy, and he wears black gloves in Yellowstone.
Never seen Yellowstone, but that's yeah. Some men can have soft hands and still work with their hands.
Rip might have soft hands.
Probably
yeah,
has
there's
beautiful
nothing.
hands.
Yeah, I always thought it's one of those things that was kind of weird. Of like, yeah, like what do you against gloves?
Yeah, it did. It's just it made me laugh because then I went back. I've been back a couple of times, and I'm just like every time I go back and I just rub them on the wood before I shake his hand.
Oh yeah,
Just-
before you
I
shake
just
him
make
his
them
hand.
dry a little bit.
It'd be
Dry
funny if you
ass.
just like
Pick up some
picked up,
dirt.
if you picked up like a horse poop and you just like rubbed
Rubbed
it
it
in
in.
your hand, and then you shook his hand.
Oh, he'd be like, "What's up?" It wouldn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
phase him.
Dude,
He's,
He'd be like, "This is normal."
he's the real deal.
Somebody, a
They're
friend of mine
the
sent me
real
this,
deal up there.
this clip the other day where he was like, "If your hands don't look like this when you're eating lunch, then you don't work hard enough."
And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
covered
yeah,
in
yeah.
dirt.
It's covered in dirt. I'm like,
But I also like that. I like being in the woods for a couple days,
Sure.
and just living filthy and like dropping something
just
and being
going
like,
feral.
and then just eating it. And my family is like, oh, like my family not outdoors. People are like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh my god, and not like friends or people I work with are like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
You
I
drop
met,
some
I
chips,
met your
you
mom
eat
one
'em
time
up.
at the fly fishing event, and I was like, I did not expect that to be your mom for
The
sure.
like
Opposite.
outside to her is like from here to the car.
Now the family lives in
Born and raised in Colorado.
Colorado. Okay, so
Aunts
just a
and
little bit more
uncles.
city.
Aunts and uncles all
Sure.
Colorado, but they also like grew up. My grandfather had a house in Mississippi,
Mhm.
so like every summer they would go to Mississippi and like
What part of Mississippi?
uh
Like Mississippi River Delta, or like?
no, there's a small town called Stribling, Mississippi,
Oh,
No.
hell yeah.
which is probably where my ancestors were enslaved. So near
Great,
there,
we love to hear that.
Dude, maybe the
Near
author
there.
T.S. Stribling.
Yeah.
Fun. I thought that was gonna be a fun story, and then you made it weird.
it still is fun.
I thought you were gonna say like my grandfather is the mayor.
So like
and
North Mississippi. Or I grew up in
I have no
North
idea.
He doesn't
Alabama.
know.
So,
I could
okay.
look, but they would go down there and he would have like farm animals. They would have like sheep and horses. So they were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Sure.
around stuff. And
Yeah.
then growing up, they just became
And
like,
you loved the outdoors, and you were like, "This is what I want to do." And then you went to Colorado State University for outdoors.
I went for veterinary med because I wanted to save animals.
Yeah, but that's not what vets do.
And then I was in pre-vet classes.
They
and,
don't do that.
And then I was in pre-vet club, and I was like, one, there's a bunch of weird ass motherfuckers in
Yeah,
here.
this is fucked up.
And two, I don't want to just save people's cattle or their dogs. Like that was it. It was either you do livestock
Yeah, it's large animal or small animal.
or you do like
Yeah,
people's pets.
and you
I'm like, I
basically
don't
have
wanna
to
do that.
do the same shit as a doctor. It's like if your school is going to be this hard.
Yeah,
Might
and
as
so
well
I
just
was
be a
like, this
doctor.
shit sucks. So I quit that semester. I like changed all my classes the next semester to psychology. So I did like a semester of psychology and was like, I want to figure out people's brains.
Yeah. You were
That-
also like, I
that
can't.
dumbass shit.
Yeah.
And then I
Who's gonna
took
figure out with this brain over here with this guy wearing a Bass Pro Shop hat? Obviously stupid.
No, at that time I was
Obviously
like,
idiot.
I was looking at him like that motherfucker cool. And then I was like wandering the halls one day, and I walked into this class, and there was like a bunch of students in there, and it was like 6 o'clock, and I didn't have any friends a lot in college, so I was
Sure.
like just wandering by
It's
myself.
not any different now, but
And so I wandered in there, I sat down, and this lady brought in a fucking golden eagle that was injured, and they were like rehabilitating it in class, and I
That's
was
pretty
like,
dope.
and the professor was down there, and she was like, yeah, so this is the intro to wildlife bio. This is like the 101 class. And I was like, this is a fucking class. And so after class, I went up, talked to them, and they were like, yeah, we'll get your major switched tomorrow. Switched my major, and then it was just like, fucking.
that's it.
That's all she wrote.
That's amazing.
Out of there. And then I found out the next semester that I'm learning to tie flies from this guy because I needed extra credit. I'm learning to tie flies from this guy. And this guy walks in, and he's like, I don't know, 90 something, early 90s, and he goes, Are you Theodore? Are you Theodore Washington's son? And I was like, no. And I was like, that's my grandfather's name. And he was like, I used to be your grandfather's academic advisor when your grandfather came to CSU.
What?
Wow.
And I was like, get the fuck.
What?
And he was like, yeah. And so then I brought my gramps back there, and they were talking, and they were like catching up. And this guy used to be like a biologist in Africa, and like used to run fishing programs. Like it was just like, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be.
You're supposed to be here. You found your
this
place.
moment.
No,
And I was
you
like,
found
that's
your place.
fucking wild. Like that was crazy.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super wild.
Well, you know what? Also, with your story too, again, kind of like being like you're the only outdoorsy person kind of in your family.
Yeah.
Some would say that you are the black sheep of the family. And that's fun because so am I.
I wish we could have zoomed in on that camera.
But I
Look how Reggie's turning.
It's okay. I've been thinking of that for 4 minutes while you're telling your story about Theodore.
Eeland tried so hard to just give you like the this isn't funny face. Like,
But I am also the black sheep because my mom
You said
is
your
in
mom is a fashion designer.
my mom is in fashion, not a designer, but my mom is in fashion. My dad's an artist. My brother's a musician, and I kind of just went. I mean,
went rogue.
yeah. I mean, similar. Like my grandparents lived in a very rural area growing up. I started riding horses when I was young. And I worked at like a horse stable, and I kind of realized very fast, like New York will only get me to a certain point. I have to get out of here. I want to be a cowboy.
Yeah.
I want a cowboy. I want to do it, and I want to do it right.
Yeah.
And I went to Colorado State University, and I went for equine science, and then eventually changed to animal science. And then worked on ranches and all this other stuff. But it was one of those things where like I did settle in where I was like, oh, this fucking hits, dude.
Yeah.
Like when you find that thing, you're like, this fucking hit. Like I'm
'cause
good with this forever. And I do think that comedy also played its part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like unfortunately my life is, and I think that all three of us kind of have this similarity. It was like I could live in the middle of nowhere, but then I couldn't
abso-fucking-lutely.
do comedy, so I have
Yes.
to live in the middle of somewhere. So I have to
yeah.
do those
That's a
things that I would do
constant
in the middle.
struggle.
Yeah.
It's a constant struggle for
Yeah.
me. It's insane.
fortunately in Denver, like I can get into the woods enough to feed that part of me.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's what Colorado. I mean, that's what might be the reason that we all stay Colorado comics for a long time is because I can't get that in New York.
No.
I can't cowboy the same way. I
You're
can't.
becoming such a
rope
great comic.
with the-
But
I mean, yeah. I know it's hard to like. I don't want to give
And you can
up
move to
what I have here.
Montana and do hella work, but then
I can't do both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now I've been taking roping lessons. So for the last few months I've been roping with a guy in Littleton.
Nice.
And so hopefully I'll be able to rodeo a little bit. Which I guess would, kind of be similar to you guys going fishing in the mountains and stuff like that.
Well, that'd be sick because then you could rodeo in other cities and also do spots on shows. That's how I think. I always go, can I do both of my things
Yeah.
the
Together.
same time?
Dude, well, that
100%.
was, man, speaking of that, I'm wearing my bird catching uniform jacket. When I have a
Did
bit
you know
about-
this?
I used
That
catch
he used
birds.
to be a bird catcher?
Yeah, so I had this job which I found on Craigslist, and I thought for sure I was getting scammed. But I moved to Memphis, and I was just looking for jobs that had. I was trying to stay in my major. Before that, I had been a field biologist out here for PG Environmental. Actually, we almost worked together one time.
Yeah.
You, no disrespect to them, but you made the right decision.
Well, the person during the interview process goes,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You've said the word blessed a lot. Do you believe in God? And I
Do you
was
say
like,
blessed a lot?
I was like,
Is
yeah.
that a thing you say?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I believe in God. And he goes, and he like leans forward and goes, I think this is gonna be a good fit.
No.
I was like, that
Wait.
scares the fuck.
No,
out of
that's
me.
You don't want that.
Well, you
You
did
don't
that.
need that.
I
What
know
the
who
hell?
this person is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But very sweet though. The
nice
company
guy.
looked great, but it just like wasn't.
Yeah.
I had
what I was doing wasn't.
Yeah, and I had a great
What I
time
wanted to
working
do.
for them. And no disrespect at all, but I think, I outgrew that job pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing would happen to you. You would have done one season and been like, can't do this.
Yeah.
Because, it didn't match. It didn't fit with comedy very well.
Yeah.
But either way, so when I moved to Memphis, I was just looking for any job with like any kind of outdoor wildlife, like whatever. And then I applied for a job and I interviewed for a state biologist position, and the pay was like embarrassingly low. And then I didn't even get.
That's the
offered
hardest part
job.
about what we all do too. Is it's like it's low when it's the outdoors and it's low when it's comedy.
So then I got this job. I saw
You
this
can't
job
fucking
for a
win,
company,
dude.
and they were called like Wildlife Services, like blank. I'm not gonna say they were blank Wildlife Services.
You can't say it. Don't say it.
And then I like interview with them, and they're like, so basically, we catch birds that are trapped inside of grocery stores. And I was like,
That's fucking sick.
for real?
Is it?
And
That's sad as fuck.
yeah, so
You get paid? How do you get paid?
I got paid per bird. And I could like make my own schedule. So for comedy, it was like perfect because like every day, like on Thursday or Friday, I'd look at the schedule because I was living in Memphis and I knew there were mics like Wednesdays and Thursdays in Nashville. So it'd be like, if there's at least 2 jobs in Nashville on a Wednesday, I'm just gonna go.
He was going into like Walmarts and like Home Depots.
Yeah, we
and
worked for all the
shit.
major brands, and now they're like a huge company. And I've even thought about.
How do you think the birds were delivered so that they could count how many birds so he could get paid?
Starting a Colorado chapter.
I've thought about. Well, no, because I would not want to work. Well, they're an East Coast based company. I just feel like the distance would be tough.
Yeah.
But I've thought about trying to start, a similar type business, catching
would
birds.
The
rather
answer's
catch birds.
dead, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I
I mean,
asked it.
Well, a lot of them. I mean, most of what we dealt
So
with
he
were
catches
invasive.
them and then sends them in.
Most of what we dealt with were invasive species, and we did, usually kill them.
Like European starlings. And
Starlings
stuff? Yeah.
and house sparrows
Yeah.
and pigeons.
Yeah.
A lot of pigeons. But yeah, the starlings.
Did you actually get pulled over? With
Yeah,
birds
that's a
in the
true
bag?
story. Yeah, that's a
So
true
he
story.
has a joke where he talks about. Well, I guess it's Mike who has the joke.
I do it as both now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when I was catching birds, I got pulled over and I had all the dead birds with me from a job, and it was like a bunch of them because they were like pretty big about like, if you kill the birds, like don't just throw them in the Walmart trash can. Like a customer's gonna like see that, And so I had like a Walmart bag full of dead birds, and I got pulled over, and the cop was kind of
Imagine, like, if I was the cop, I'd be like, I mean, I have to take him in, right? Like, he's obvious, like it's.
Yeah, well, I would.
It sounds
I would
insane.
call someone else and be like, "We should also go check his basement."
Yeah, right,
it was-
right.
And honestly, what I was doing with the birds was super creepy because I was like learning about taxidermy, and I was gonna try to taxidermy them.
Yeah, that's fucking.
Yeah,
Hey,
which-
boy.
Yeah, I know. I'm on a list now for sure.
Yeah, you're on a list.
But like I was tying flies, so a lot of times I was like, I'm gonna try to see if I can pluck some of these feathers. Like, do they have hackle? Like,
Did
can
you
I
ever
make a
try
fly?
the meat?
Say what?
Did you ever try the meat? Be honest.
No, I never did. But there was an Asian dude in my neighborhood, that,
I can't imagine it's good.
a Vietnamese guy that was like, "Yo, do you ever get starlings?" And I was like, all the fucking time. And he was like, let me know.
Those are tasty?
I don't know. In some
To an Asian
cultures,
person, yeah.
in some cultures, they eat them. And I think it's like a,
I feel like
it's like a
be
thickening agent. They like cook
meaty.
the whole bird and make a sauce out of it or something.
Oh, okay. I
But
can't imagine.
I thought whenever I dealt with starlings up close, they smelled terrible. So I could not imagine that they tasted
They're
good.
pretty birds.
They're pretty.
They're very pretty
Yeah,
up
yeah.
close, but they're
Yeah.
also like the biggest dickhead birds ever. They're like nest attackers.
Yeah.
And they also
I
are.
saw a video of a kid the other day on TikTok, and he was riding a scooter, and there was a bird chasing him, and the guy was just laughing, but this bird was like attacking him, and I think it was a magpie, because I thought that I could see that it was like black and white, but maybe I should find it. But attacking this kid, just
Magpies,
relentless.
That seems like something a magpie would do.
Relentless, would not leave, and this kid was screaming at the top of his lungs. He looked like he was 7 years old on a scooter.
That's hilarious.
I also think he should have just gone faster, but I guess you can't go faster than a bird, right?
You can't.
You can though.
I can.
You can. Okay.
They've got that's how they actually set the pace of the scooters too.
Yeah. How fast is
Can
a
you
bird?
get away
Yeah.
from a bird?
The speed of a pigeon.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, that's a wild job that you had.
It was a really weird job, and honestly, I really liked it. You know, I was pretty good at it because I think being like a fisherman and stuff, it was kind of the same vibe where you're trying to outsmart an animal. So it would be like I was pretty like observant, where like a lot of my coworkers, and we would use mist nets, which maybe you experience mist nets in the wildlife world, but basically the birds kind of get entangled in this net. They can't see it, they fly into it. And a lot of my coworkers would get in a store, they'd immediately start putting up nets. Whereas like I would really like, I have the same approach to like fishing. Like as I'm walking up, I'm just like watching, you know what I mean? I'm just like gonna take my time. I'm gonna do a full loop, and then I'm gonna see. And that really worked well because I would just see where the birds were, see where they were going.
You could do little whistles too, right?
Yeah. That's a yeah.
What kind of bird is that?
That's the house.
That's a house sparrow, yeah. But also what was a big game changer too is I got one of those speakers that you hook up to on Bluetooth. And then I found an app that had all the bird calls. So I would put it on one side of the store, and then I would hit it on my phone.
And then they come over?
Or they would call back. Wow.
I would just apply for a job where you have to be an expert in bird calls.
Really?
And I'm pretty decent.
Wait, I'm sorry, what's the job?
I'm just a wildlife technician.
Okay.
But they're surveying birds, and so you have to be an expert in bird calls. So I just put on my resume that I was an expert, but I'm like,
you just call Adam. You know what would be funny if you just called Adam Caden Holland and you were like, "Hey, can you tell me what the fuck this one is?"
There's like some stuff that's like really easy and stuff where I'm just like, but my bird ID is good, so I just have to figure out. I'm like studying for this job.
You know what I love about
There's
a resume?
Like good resources nowadays too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just Googled all the bird call sounds, and I've just been listening to bird calls.
There's an app for it too.
Yeah,
there's like an app that I think it will even like you can like record it and post it, and other people will be like, "Oh yeah, you're right," or "You're wrong."
Yeah, I love that about resumes though, that you can just lie on them.
Yeah, I mean everything else that they were asking for on the resume, I've done for years.
Sure. But you could just always buff it up, which I think is important. I think if you're not buffing it up, I don't think you're doing the right thing. If you're just being completely truthful.
Well, yeah, this is gonna be my first field job since like 2019.
Get back in the field.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm like.
But if you do that, are you going to be now? One of the things that you notoriously like to do is go to different countries and fish. Are you going to be able to do these little tropical getaways?
Job. This job it's from now until September.
Oh,
from March until September.
That's great.
And it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Damn.
From 9 to 5.
In the mountains.
So you got the long weekends.
Where?
Just the front range.
Just
like
range.
all along the front range.
So you can fish while you're doing it.
Are you doing bird surveys for like windmills or something?
No, it's just bird surveys for.
Just raw
I'm
data.
not going to say the county, but it's for like a county in
That's awesome.
Colorado.
That's amazing.
I always loved like when I had jobs where I didn't have like an objective. It was just like you just have to collect this data set.
Yeah.
I always loved that because
I'm so excited.
I've been looking at jobs too, and I did find a job the other day, and it's like 30 minutes outside of the city. And I was reading through it, and I thought it was interesting. It said cattle herdsman, and I was like, oh, it's 30 minutes outside the city. What is this? And then I realized that the job is for sire collection, which means for 3 to 4 hours a day, you are collecting cum from bulls.
Oh, sick.
it's like bull fluffer is basically the job.
You gotta make them cut. It's not even getting them ready. I think
It's
it's.
not
I
even
think
getting them
it's. I
ready.
think it's getting the shot. It's
Oh, you're
getting
just
the shot.
catching it. You're catching the
You're
money
catching
shot.
loads.
Okay.
You're catching loads
You're
from
holding
bulls.
the like thing that
Yeah,
they.
yeah. It is 3 to 4 hours a day.
I've seen that from horses. I've never seen that from bulls.
Yeah, bulls. A lot of money in bulls.
I wonder
Yeah.
if a lot of people applied for that job. Is there a way that you can tell?
Well, the good thing about the job was that also it was like less than minimum wage in Denver, and it was an 8-hour job. It was 8 hours, 5 days a week or something like that. So it was like catching cum, making sure they're fed, and then like making sure the bulls
You
that
said
are
catching it like
leaving
you're
are
gonna
ready
be
to
like-
go. So loading
you-
bulls and unloading bulls.
So you just jack them off and you make them a sandwich?
hmm
It's pretty tight.
That's pretty tight. I know.
Those
And
bulls
I,
have
so
it
I
made.
did say to myself, I'm gay for a reason. I don't need to do this to men.
I hate.
So you're just doing it to the female cow? You're just doing it.
No, I'm just saying, I
Pleasuring
don't
the
even have
cows?
to do that. I don't have to, like, that's the patriarchy, man. I don't have to fucking do that stuff. What are you, crazy? I'm not making you a fucking hay sandwich after you come
think
in
that's-
this
Do
container.
you think that's some gay guy's
What
dream?
have you done for me today?
No. I don't think there's a lot of gay guys out there in the.
Being like, I just want a bunch of bull cum.
No,
and-
it's expensive, dude.
bull
It's
cum.
like
Yes,
you can sell that stuff for a lot of money. So supposedly, what it is
it's they put it in Red Bull.
they put bull cum in. What are you
That's where the
talking
wings
about?
go from.
Yeah, that's
That's
how
the
you,
wings?
That's the any Red Bull commercial you see, or you see someone
I
drinking a
thought
Red Bull, you
I
go,
love Red Bull.
well,
Dude,
It's bull.
it's one
it's
of the
like
things.
60% bull cum.
It's 6. Oh, okay. So it's the 40% that I like.
That's why it says
no, you like it all.
It's
It's
not
the
an
sugar.
artificial sweetener. It is a natural.
It's a natural.
Ugh.
Dude, I'm gonna start selling my cum. Honestly,
What?
Who's
All right.
is buying?
Who's buying this cum out here?
I don't know. I don't have to do that part of it.
Oh my god.
But no, I've only got 1 year left. You can't donate sperm. I'm about to be 35. and
Oh,
that's-
really?
That's the age cutoff.
I did not know that.
But yeah, you
Have you seen those documentaries though, where there's like one guy, he's like, I don't know, I have 100 kids now.
yeah, that's what I'm going for. I don't want
There's
I don't want
100
kids of
kids.
my own, but I want my genes out there in the world.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Well, that's
So it's for people that can't,
not great.
you know, they store it and then
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
somebody
I know
comes
what
in and they
I
look
know
through a
what they do
catalog.
with. I know what they do with the cum.
He's not questioning what they do with human cum. He just doesn't understand
yeah.
why you would have a bull.
But yeah, no, I'm yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
I think they also store it there too.
Another side hustle.
Bull cum.
I think it's a storage
bull
place
cum
too.
freezer?
So you say you have a bull and you're like, this is a really good bull.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell
his sperm.
his sperm, and
His
then you're
genetics.
gonna go. So you go to that place, and they just
They whack
go.
it off.
They whack. I mean, however long he's there, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. You
Well,
get
they store
shot,
it.
shots.
He just leaves
store it,
exhausted.
and then you can sell as you will.
Yeah.
So
And then people
I
say, hey,
just
like
want you guys to know,
Jurassic
I did
Park.
not apply for that job.
Okay.
Oh, they requested you.
I found it, and I said this could be fun. Cattle herdsman or whatever the
They
fuck
really
it was. And
buried
I
the
was
lead on
yeah. And I said, "Oh, I can cowboy 30 minutes away from Denver. That would be cool." And then I looked at it and I went, "I don't think this is a riding job, actually."
I think actually you
This is what
could.
they
I
call
think they're trying to do a
non-riding
thing where
job.
you can actually convert your car from using petrol and gas
To come,
bull cum.
Bull cum.
So you could have driven there
I could have driven there on the bull cum.
on the gas.
Oh,
and
on
then
the gas.
driven home on the bull cum.
On the bull cum
Fill
while drinking a Red Bull. Oh man, I don't know where we're at. I
God, how
never
funny
know
would that
what
be
the time
if
is.
bull cum did become like the new green fuel?
I mean, I think we should try everything.
Right? I mean,
I think we should try all
So-
types.
sticks.
If that would be the green fuel, then we'd have to have more cows, which
Would produce more methane.
with methane. So then who's winning?
well, I mean, not just to be devil's advocate here. You
The
just
bulls would be
the
winning.
wolves would be winning.
Yeah.
But you can, you know, I feel like there are ways that you can really store a lot of carbon with cattle farming if you're doing it right. So
Sure.
But yeah, I don't think that bull cum would. I mean, also, what's the miles per gallon? You know, you get 1,000 miles per gallon on bull cum. then-
1,000 miles per
I
gallon.
mean, if you did,
Bull-
then it probably would
It
be.
would probably be like miles per
it's
semen.
worth the
Miles
farts
per
if you get
load.
1,000.
like per semen, like per
per swimmer. Each
Yeah.
swimmer gives you a
each
couple
swimmer
of
gets you like
Good.
quarter mile.
Each
They turn a
swimmer.
little wheel. They're
a Yeah, they could just go inside and it turns just like a hamster wheel, and the sperm would just go around the hamster.
I like the idea
there's like a fake bull uterus
Yeah.
that they never get to. It's on a string.
I like the idea that would happen kind of like milk, where like
so
everybody
dumb.
was drinking milk at one point, and
Yeah.
then so people were using like bull cum, and then eventually it'd be like, no, you should use like goat cum instead, or
Yeah,
maybe
just-
like almond cum.
Yeah.
It's just called almond milk still, not milk.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is, man,
What a silly thing.
God, I'm going to make a bit about this. This is hilarious.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. And that
That's
means
a successful
we're
podcast.
wrapping up. Yes.
If you leave a podcast with, I have a new bit.
Yeah.
then that's a successful podcast.
That's what we do here, actually.
gonna be
One
like
of
a
the
dinner
reasons we
party
have
question.
this podcast
Yeah.
is
If
so
you
that
could have
Elliot
a-
can come up with more new bits.
If you could have a car that ran on bull semen, would you drive it?
Would you drive it?
They're like, this is the cocktail party for our wedding. This is the gift table. Please leave.
Well,
love
enjoy
it.
your cake and ice cream.
Well, we really appreciate having you on. Why don't you
fun.
do some plugs for yourself, like some
where
shows,
can people find
internet,
you?
all the things.
They can find me on my website. I have a website. My website is eelandstribling.com.
Perfect.
2 E's land. Stribling like the slave owners and
Oh
.com.
God, what the
And
fuck?
then I have a series called Comedians on the Fly where I take comics fly fishing.
And are you gonna take us?
Well, Jesus, I was about to future.
I want to go. I want to go fishing so I can wear my hat.
I was future tease it. I was gonna say probably check out in the upcoming episode.
Yeah.
We'll probably have WolfHawk.
Can I wear this
comedy
hat?
on? Absolutely. I would encourage you to wear the hat. And what else? Comedians on the Fly and my website. And that's about it. You can catch me around Denver. I'll be in I don't know when this is coming out, but I'll be in Sarasota, Florida,
Cool.
and Key West, Florida.
You gonna fish there?
In the February and beginning of March to do shows.
Awesome.
Fucking let's go, dude.
Yeah, and I'll be around in the streets. You can catch me in the streets.
In the streets, calling
Absolutely.
birds. Possibly.
Hopefully by the time you all hear this, I do have a new job, and I
Yeah,
am
Hell yeah.
happy.
And you can find us on Instagram at WolfHawk Comedy.
WolfHawk Comedy. I am also at Lizzy Wolfson on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
And I am Mr. Mike Hawkburns. It sounds like you're saying my cock burns. Does everyone get it? Hilarious.
Good. It's always fun to explain the joke.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'd love to hear it. But yes, Instagram, Facebook.
And thank you guys
TikTok.
for tuning in.
Hawkburns has a lot of agriculture story or
Yeah. I'm gonna
clips
start
and stuff
doing a
like
lot
that.
of like kind of how to.
And
Okay.
great
TikTok.
shows. WolfHawk has great shows.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
we
always
are
fun.
we're at Rise Comedy, first Saturday of the month at 7 p.m.
7
Super
p.m.
fun. Eeland just did it.
It was so
He was
fun.
great. He
So
fucking
fun.
crushed it. I actually have a tape for you too. But that is where you will catch us pretty consistently. And we also want to say thank you to Dude IDK for producing this podcast.
And thank you for coming and being on with us.
Thanks, it was
thanks,
fun.
Eeland.
I had a lot
Have
of
fun
fun.
fishing, and
this
I hope you enjoy your new
fucking
hat.
hat
Oh, fuck, dude.
Thank you guys.